What's up, gamers? It's your boy Ben, back with the 3GB, back in action with some Dark Souls 3. I have been looking forward to playing this game for quite some time, and hopefully you guys are going to enjoy playing it, watching us play, and getting involved in the whole Souls atmosphere. We're going to be calling this month Sold Out, because that's what we are. We are sold out. So let's talk a little bit about Dark Souls 3. Now, I personally am a big fan of the Souls series. I played all of them, including Bloodborne, and I even go back before them. I go back to Kingsfield even. So I've always been a fan of From Software, and I really like the Souls game. This one, in particular, so beautiful. Such a beautiful game. The ambiance, just the overall foreboding feelings, the dark, the macabre. I mean, there's so much grittiness in this game, just in the visuals alone. They're beautiful to look at, but man, this world is messed up. There's some serious stuff going on in this world. People dying left and right, hollowed people, unkindled people, monsters that are trying to kill you. It's a crazy, crazy world, and it's a beautifully crazy world at that. Like any Souls game, you of course have to create your character, so really there's no difference there. You create your name, you choose your gender, then you create your overall appearance. You can pick a class, and those classes have certain attributes, and they require certain playstyles. For example, knight character, usually a tank. If you're going to be a caster like a sorcerer or a cleric, you're probably going to be a ranged character. So you can spread the gamut of all sorts of different types of builds. Myself, I built two characters. I built an assassin, which was my very first character, and I built a herald, which is a character I'm going to build today here just briefly on screen. I will say that, knight, mercenary, warrior, thief, sorcerer, pyromancer, cleric, and depraved, they're all cool characters, but I really had an affinity for the assassin because of the S-stock, and I wanted to try the herald because of the spear. This was curious. I like having the ability to turtle up and to poke if I need to, but I also enjoy the idea of being fast, agile. So I don't know. I mean, I'm still learning the mechanics, and this game is just different enough that it's going to take some effort to learn. So, now again, about the character customization. Like it is in Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2, and even Bloodborne, you can tweak and customize almost every aspect of your character. So that really hasn't changed. Again, you can change eyes, nose, mouth, lips, chin, neck, jaw. You can do upper body, lower body, legs, arms. You can do one color eye, a different color eye, different sized pupil in the left eye, small pupil in the right eye. You can do all sorts of things. You can gender bend if you want. You can put a beard on a woman if you wanted to. You could put different colored hairstyles. You can make all crazy amounts of combinations. It's just such a robust and varied character creation system. One of my favorite. Now, typically, I like to play female characters. I like to make them badass, and I like to destroy things with my female characters. Like I said, this is going to be a herald, so it's going to be a little bit of a mix between a melee character and a faith build, because I'm going to have the ability to cast faith, miracles. Again, skin color, hair design, hair shape, everything and anything is adjustable here in Dark Souls 3, and that's cool. I like that. Overall gameplay, if you guys have played Bloodborne, you're going to feel right at home with Dark Souls 3, because Dark Souls 3 should actually be called Blood Souls. It's a very interesting mix between the quick, fast-paced action of Bloodborne with the more methodical, slow-paced feeling of Dark Souls. It's a very interesting blend, and I don't necessarily hate it, but I don't love it at the same time. It's going to take some getting used to. It has a very distinct Bloodborne-ish type feeling, especially in the way your character moves and the ferocity that you're attacked, and just the crazy amounts of swinging that enemies do. They are relentless. And I thought they were bad in Dark Souls 2, but no, this is way worse here in Dark Souls 3. They are brutally bloodthirsty, relentless beasts. They will do almost anything to absolutely murder you. So if you like that, you're coming to the right place for sure. Now let's talk a little bit about the first area, right? What you're seeing here is just bits and pieces of my original playthrough here with my Herald on the tutorial level. And the tutorial level has a boss, which you're looking at here. Now, if you aren't ready for the quickness that this game demands that you do, this is going to kill you. Because it's not like any other Souls game. It's very fast. It's random almost sometimes, it feels like. It's not. There's a definite pattern to his attacks, but it just feels like it's so unpredictable and it's so fast. You roll out of the way. Sometimes you roll too far and you lose target. The speed at which you need to fight in this game is insane. And I don't really know if I like it 100% or not. Like I said, it's Bloodborne. This is Blood Souls. Because you're moving like you do in Bloodborne. Except you have a shield. And you're not really using any guns. It just feels like Bloodborne to me. And you guys can chime in if you want. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree with that. I personally think that it's a very interesting and beautiful mix. But it's going to take me some time getting used to. You know, especially the transformations. God, when this guy first transformed, I had no idea what to think about this. All of a sudden, he went from just a dude with a giant axe to what is this, Venom? I mean, what is this, some sort of like crazy Cthulhu-type monster? This is Bloodborne, guys. This is right out of Bloodborne. It really is. So anyway, that's kind of my overall feelings on the game. I think speed-wise, it's fast, it's brutal, it's intense, it's chaotic, a lot like Bloodborne was for me. And it's Dark Souls. So you're going to have that really dark, just brutally dark and depressing. Not that Bloodborne was happy-go-lucky, but you know, something about a Souls game that's just so punishingly difficult. Bloodborne was not as difficult as Dark Souls was. I mean, that's just my opinion, I'm sure, but I just didn't feel it. So let's talk about Embers, right? And co-op. Co-op, for me, is one of the most important aspects of a Souls game. If you don't have co-op, it's not a Souls game. Now, there are two different aspects of co-op in a Souls game. You have your cooperative, and you have your player versus player, or PvP. Personally, myself, I err on the side of being a co-op player. I hate PvP. I don't player versus player. I just don't. I have no interest in fighting other people. I have no interest in any of that. I want to help folks get through levels. I want to help people, beat a boss. I want to be helpful. I don't want to be detrimental to a person's playthrough. For some reason, and I don't know if just because it's a brand new game and people are still learning the ropes or whatever, I was invaded last night. This game came out. I downloaded it a couple days before. I started playing at 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time last night. I played for 5 hours, a little over 5 hours. In that amount of time, I was invaded a ton, at least 6 or 7 times, in the first opening stage. Now, you have to keep in mind, A, I did not know where I was going. B, I had no idea how to fight a phantom in this game. Because, it's different. Every time you get invaded, it's a different scenario. You don't know what they're going to be using. You have no idea where they're going to go. And plus, I didn't know the level. So, phantoms come into my world and it says you've been invaded by so-and-so. And all of a sudden, I'm supposed to fight them. And all they do, they may attack, but they'll run. They just ran off. Most of the time I fought invading phantoms, they would just run away and force me to follow them. And that's a technique that I'm well aware and well versed in. Because remember, I've played a ton of PvP in Demon Souls, and that's one of the tactics I remember very clearly. People coming into my world, trying to kill myself or any of my co-op players. And what they would do is they would run into the world, they would run into the environment, and they would hide behind like 3 or 4 giant sword guys and just wait there for you. If the sword guys killed you, hey, they still won. If you killed the sword guys, you're low on life. Maybe they could come in and get that kill when you're distracted. They're using the environment to benefit their own invasions. I understand that's a tactic. When you come into a world, you may or may not be up against 4 people. I understand that that's a legitimate tactic for a lot of PvPers. My problem is that I don't want to PvP. I don't want to have to fool around with other players. I don't want to PvP. But for some reason, From Software and their infinite wisdom keeps making it mandatory. If you want to co-op, you're going to be invaded. It's just the way things go. I prefer the Bloodborne idea that if you don't want to be invaded, find the Sinister Bell, or the Sinister Bell Woman, or whatever her name was, kill her, and stop the invasions. That's my type of game, where you don't have to worry about invasions. The environments are tough enough as it is. Why bother with invading anybody? I don't know. I'm just not a PvPer. I don't have the mentality. I don't want to ruin people's nights. I don't want to challenge people that I'm not interested in challenging. I don't want to deal with it. But last night, oh my God, invasion after invasion after invasion, and I hadn't even leveled up yet. It was crazy. So, now let's talk about the Firelink Shrine. Firelink Shrine is your hub. It's your nexus from Demon Souls. It's where you're going to have your blacksmith. Here, Andre, you're going to have a merchant. You're going to have your Emerald Herald, or in this case, the Firekeeper. She's going to level you up when you have souls that you want to spend. You're going to have everything you need here in the Firelink. Now, I don't know what other areas there are in the game. I've only found, I think, like 2 areas so far. But the Firelink is pretty much going to be your hub. So learn the place. I'm sure other people will show up in here. If you find and meet people in the outside world, you talk to them, they'll probably appear back here at the Firelink, I'd imagine. That seems to be the basic idea. So this is kind of a interesting area. It's much bigger than it was in Dark Souls 1. Because we didn't get a Firelink Shrine in Dark Souls 2. We got Majula. And Majula was kind of like a Firelink, but it kind of wasn't. This is blatantly called the Firelink Shrine, and that's what we had in Dark Souls 1. We had a Firelink Shrine. So here we go. Same thing. Definite connection here. Now you can use a Firelink Shrine, of course, to warp to your given areas. Any bonfire could warp you anywhere you've already discovered. So that's kind of cool. You don't have to unlock it like you did in Dark Souls 1. This is the first area here, by the way. This is, now I'm in offline mode, so I won't be invaded. But this is the high wall of Lauric. This is where you kind of get your first taste of the world around you, the enemies that are trying to kill you, and just the overall feeling of the level. This is a tough place. There's a lot of twists and turns and corners. To me, it looks very Bloodborne-like, but that's not a bad thing, because I like the level design of Bloodborne. Overall, I got to tell you, I'm digging it. I think it's going to be a good addition to the Souls series. Where they go from here, I have no idea. But again, I got to say, it's basically Bloodborne with a feeling of Dark Souls. The way you move, the way you attack, the way enemies are, the speed, everything. It just reminds me so much of Bloodborne. So if you liked Bloodborne, you'll like this game. I'm positive. If you like Demon Souls, you didn't care for Bloodborne, you might have a hard time with this one. But anyway, guys, I've taken up enough of your time. Thank you so much for watching my little brief introduction here to my first experience with Dark Souls 3. Tune in next time where we'll hopefully have a little bit more information for you. We'll have a few more videos up for you guys. And just, hey, if you haven't played this game and you're interested in it, go out, pick it up, see what you can do with it, because it's an experience. So, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time back here on the 3GB. Peace.